No, I agree with you 100%, man. I mean, speaking of, I'm gonna jump a little bit. I'm sure we're gonna wrap it up. But speaking of Brunson, I can't wait for next week's card, man. I want to see Kevin Holland.
Yeah, and on that one, Kevin Holland opened as the favorite, or if you, well, at least when I checked today, he was the favorite, minus 170. Brunson was plus 145. I do think Holland will win. I don't know about minus 170 because the last fight against Shabazzian, Brunson was plus 270, which I thought was incredibly disrespectful and an absolute steal of a line. Now, I didn't want to bet against Shabazzian, so I didn't jump on that. But when I saw him at
Hindsight,
plus
man.
270,
Hindsight.
yeah. No, I thought like this is a good value proposition here. Plus 270 for this guy. Like I understand Shabazzian had a loss at that point, but plus 270? Like this makes no freaking sense. Now, plus 145, it's not as appetizing to jump on, nor would I. But I also think like, because the thing with Brunson is this guy has beaten some top names and he's also lost to some random people. You don't know, like I think at this point he's matured more than those times when he's had those losses where it's like, dude, really, you lost to this guy? So, and they've been talking to each other. Kevin's going to be talking coming into that fight, but this one's the toughest person I think Kevin's going to have fought. There's some people I was talking to someone and he was like, you know what? No, I felt like Jacare was more of a difficult opponent. Yeah, maybe Jacare, a previous Jacare maybe would have been, but I feel like given the streak that Holland is on, this is the most difficult person he's going to be fighting.
I don't know about that, man. I mean, because if we just look at the age, right? They have a freaking 9 year gap. Brunson's 37, dude. This could be his retirement fight, pretty much.
No, it's not.
You
No,
don't
it's
think
not.
you don't think so? You don't think Kevin
No.
Holland's gonna make him retire, man?
No, I mean, because again, look at you could have maybe said that again for the last fight against. Well, you also factor that Brunson's on a winning streak. I think that he's riding a 3 or 4 fight winning streak, but he fought. I mean, they were calling him the gatekeeper right after that, leading up to the fight against Edmen, because Edmen was riding hot. I think he was 11-0 overall, 4-0 or 5-0 in the UFC. He was number 9 at the time. Brunson was number 8. And they were calling Brunson the gatekeeper because it was going to be him that was holding back Shabazzian from, entering the top 5, presumably, had he won. But he kept the gate closed, and he was saying after, like, don't call me the gatekeeper. Like, I'm not here holding any gates, And they were saying the same thing about Thompson. And they usually give that moniker because some of these, like, quote unquote, older guys that are ranked kind of high, because it's like, well, what are they going to, like, are they going to actually contend, or are they just going to stay ranked kind of high and then ultimately retire after a loss? I mean, I understand he's 37, but I don't think that necessarily, will mean too much in this one.
I think it's going to mean a lot more than it has in other fights, especially considering how often Kevin Holland's fought. Because he's not hanging back. He's not fighting. Kevin Holland and he's hungry, dude. That I think that hunger is, if anybody's doubting him, you're out of your mind, dude. This guy wants it all. He wants the money. He might not want the belt now, but as soon as he gets enough money, that's the next thing he's going to be hungering for. And so I don't think there's any stopping him, man. My gut says he's going to plow through Brunson, and it's going to be like a bloodbath, dude. Kevin Holland's vicious.
It's a 5-rounder. So what's your prediction? How does Holland finish this? When does it end?
It's hard to say, man. I mean,
on the spot,
I think it'll probably go the distance is my gut. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll probably go the distance, and we'll see a decision in the 5th. Not because either of them lack what's the word? Stopping
strength.
Power. Yeah, like
No.
Not because they don't
Yeah,
lack
I get what you're
strength,
saying. Yeah,
but I think
knockout
it'll go.
power.
Yeah, thank you, knockout power. But I think it'll go because they're both good fighters. Just like you said, he's the gatekeeper, and Holland's the up and comer right now, I think. So, actually, sorry, Derek, I didn't mean to call you that.
He's gonna DM you, bro. Be careful. But yeah, I've been looking forward to this fight since they announced it. I originally was seeing they were speculating like February 27th for that fight. They got about a month pushed back, 2 weeks after, 2-3 weeks after that got pushed back or whatever. But glad it's happening. And when Holland was on Rogan, he's like, the only issue I'm having right now is this layoff between my fights. He fought December 12th, whatever it was, December 12th or 19th. He
loves staying active, man.
Yeah, he's like 3 months. He's like 3 months I haven't fought. He's like, for my mental health and for the well-being of the people around me, I got to keep fighting more than that.
I love it, dude. I love it. Because that's how I feel like you should be as a fighter. I mean, say what you will, but I think that if you're a fighter, this is what your life is about. You should be fighting that often. And if you're not, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Excuse my language. I'll edit that out.
If you have the ability, like as long as you're healthy, you're not hurt or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I don't get, because he's not being picky and choosy about his opponents. He's pretty much fighting whoever. Remember that one random guy he fought? The one where he like slammed him down, like almost like it looked like he broke his neck. Like that wasn't the original guy he was gonna fight. I think it was some other dude. That dude got hurt. I think this guy stepped in. I might be remembering that wrong, but like after that fight ended, you're like, yeah, why was that guy even fighting him? Just like, and that's why I appreciate Kevin Holland. He's like, dude, I'm here to get paid, man. I just want money. He's like, yeah, belts. He wasn't like, I think it was clear. He's like, I'm not chasing a belt yet. It's not that he doesn't want it, but he's like, I'm trying to get money here. So that's why he's like fighting whoever. And yeah, I can understand some of the skepticism for people that aren't fully sold on. I'm not saying I'm fully sold. I also don't think he's not good, but I can understand the kind of hesitancy of like, well, who has he fought that we're all, jumping on his hype train, which is fair. But also like this argument is made in all sports. Anytime like a team is on a winning streak, but if they've played like a bunch of like crappy teams, they're like, well, who have they beaten? It's like, sure, I understand that. But again, as a competitor, whether it be a team or individual sport, if you're matched up against a team or a player, you're supposed to beat them, aren't you? So if you beat them, whether they're good or not, you beat them, right? So if you have a few people in a row that aren't good or aren't as known, but you beat them, why should that be a slight against you? It's like you fought who was in front of you, you beat them.
Oh, for sure. Well, and I'm not saying that he should be getting a title fight or anything like that.
No, I know you're not, but this is the argument I've seen against him. Again, I'm not saying this guy should be fighting Adesanya should he win this fight, but also I don't think he's like a bum either.
No, he's definitely not a bum, man. Otherwise, he wouldn't be freaking 21-5. That's not a bad record, dude. Don't look at people like Usman or at Adesanya with some of these. Those are peak performance athletes, Kevin Holland's not a chump, though. He's had a few losses. Okay. No, maybe at this pace, the pace that this guy's fighting, he's going to have more fights under his belt by the end of this year than some of these fighters had their entire careers. Like that's something to keep your eye on, man. Don't sleep on that.
And the last thing I'll kind of end on with Holland is his last year, his first fight was in May, if I'm not mistaken. So he fought in May, and he still had 5 fights. He's starting a little bit earlier this year. He's starting in March. I don't know if he'll get 5 fights again, because now that he's actually ranked and he's getting up there, it's probably going to be a little bit harder for him to get those matchups.
I don't know, dude. He might be like, I'll take anybody lower than me too. Let's go. He might,
but at once maybe he starts getting a little bit of a championship taste, getting close, he might start being a little bit selective. And he might not be. Like, let's see what he does. I'm not saying he will, but it's possible. If he stays true to the I'm all about the money, then yeah, he might take those fights of fighting someone below him. If he beats this, he's probably gonna he wins this fight. He's leapfrogging. Well, he's already leapfrogged our boy. Never mind. He's already ranked above Shabahzyan. Disregard that. But maybe he takes that fight, because at this point I don't know who the hell that guy's gonna fight.
There's an interesting question that pops up in my mind. It's kind of like UFC unrelated. Like we could even say the same for boxing or any other like combat sports. It's interesting to me when, like, let's say you're the champion and you got there because you're the best of the best, allegedly, right? Like, why wouldn't you just take any fight that comes your way? Like in my mind, I get it. Bear with me here. I understand why you wouldn't, for physical reasons and stuff, but it's like, I shouldn't have to be concerned about, oh, this guy's a nobody, blah, blah. Well, I can prove that he's a nobody in less than a round type of situation. Does that make sense? Like if some no-ranked person is just coming in. I get what
you're saying.
Like, yeah, I'll take that fight and I'll make you know that you have to work your way up. It's going to take me 30 seconds to teach you no. Right? Like,
I think it's probably the promotability of the fight. Like if it's like if Brunson were to fight Adesanya, Like that's the title fight. I don't think that many people are going to care.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, we'll watch it, but versus Adesanya fighting Blachowicz, or Adesanya having fought Costa, even Costa. Like that's why they usually will have closer ones. In addition to that, convince the champion to fight someone. Yeah, part of it is that physical reason of risking injury, but I think it's also the humiliation. It's like, man, what if I lose? Like, I'm not necessarily thinking. Yeah, but that's bad, right? It looks worse if you lose to the number 2 ranked guy versus if you lose to like the number 8th ranked guy for the title versus the number 2 versus. But in addition to that, you also will have 1 through 7 being like, well, what the hell? Why is number 8 fighting him? So there's that. There's that side of it too.
Should be a free for all, man. Just complete chaos, and whoever fights gets the fight, and just
first the signature on the line.
Yeah, the rankings don't make any sense. It's just I don't know what's happening. These people
it's like
are
an
animals.
eBay auction. They open it up for like 2 minutes. Whoever's the last person to sign this, you get it.
You throw a couple fighters into the octagon, only one pair of gloves, and whoever gets to those first, they get to win.
Doors locked.
Yeah.
And they raise the octagon. You can't hop over it either.
I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to next week. I think it's going to be a good one. Don't sleep on Kevin Holland, man, and